Every now and then, you get to watch a game be announced, and you know that it has the potential to be something special. It may not end up being a 10 out of 10, but it's going to be a game that just dominates so many people's lives. And after spending not nearly as much time with Mugenics as I want to, I can confidently say that I've never played anything like it, and it is just fantastic. We have 3 people at LT3 playing Mugenics, because we're also checking out on the Steam Deck, which just perfect setup for it. And all 3 of us, during our time with this game, have seen things that the others haven't. I'm not talking 1 or 2 things, and the reason I'm putting this up front is because of it's just so important to what makes this game special. I am talking swaths of content. Because, and I cannot emphasize this enough, Edmund McMillian is a twisted madman. If you've played Binding of Isaac, you'll get that. You'll understand what that means. And if you haven't played Binding of Isaac, don't worry. Everyone has that one friend who's put far too many hours into the game and is willing to discuss what's up with Binding of Isaac at the drop of a coin-filled poop. If you look at the store page for Mugenics, while weird, the idea is easy enough to grasp. Manage a household of cats, you take groups of 4 of them out on turn-based roguelike runs, and then you're going to return back to your house and do it all over again. Even when you start playing it, that's what you'll see. Mugenics is a magic eye painting. You just need to look at it a little longer, and then the horrifying 3D madness will start to take form. You start any game of Mugenics by being revived in a lab, as one does, and then you're given 2 cats, who you then have to watch doink. And trust me, in this game, over the course of the hours that you are going to be spending with it, you are going to be spending a lot of time watching cats doink, and then complaining that the wrong cats are banging. And you're going to be doing that, like, a lot, like a lot. Now, fast forward past the coitus, once you have some kittens, you're then going to need to wait a day for them to grow up. You can use your kittens during that day for other things later down, but at this point, they need to grow up and be big, strong cats. So every day in game costs you food. 1 food per cat, 4 cats to your name, 4 food. Great. Only problem is, then your cats are going to start doinking out of control, and you're going to need to keep that managed. You're also going to want to use those cats before rumors about you start circulating around town. So, take 4 of your furry family, and it's off on an adventure through an alley you go. And Mugenics is a game about discovery, which I always find really funny because I'm in the business of spoiling games and ruining discovery. But I always want you to have just enough information for you to be able to make a decision and leave as much of this experience as untouched for you as I can, because I like doing non-spoilery things. Even though I really want to talk about that part of the game, I feel like you should be able to go in with as little information as you can have so that you can enjoy the game as much as you can while still knowing that you're going to enjoy it. And that Mugenics is perfect for that. You see, there are references stacked upon references in Mugenics, and I've seen some that the others haven't. They've seen some that I haven't. I've seen some on the review Discord that I just haven't encountered, because there is, quite frankly, an unhealthy amount of stuff here. There's encounters, events, items, abilities. This isn't a 10-hour game. We've sunk over 100 hours combined into Mugenics, and there is still so much to see of this game. But don't let that intimidate you. This isn't one of those games where it's like, oh god, I need 500 hours and time off work to get through this. No. The way Mugenics works is that you're going on roguelike runs, and you're managing an inbred cat youth hostel / retirement home. Sure, all of this content is built up in a way that it slowly just adds to the variety of what's going on over time, and as you complete more runs, you're going to slowly expand out the available features to you as you push further into the stinking bowels of the madness that awaits. And I do mean madness. Going back to your alleyway adventures outside of random events and weather effects that are going to change each run, those 4 faithful felines of yours will each have their own stats, and then you can also choose to give them a collar, which will define their class, or keep them collarless. There are achievements for that, and abilities for that. You can start with classic classes if you want to, such as tank, fighter, cleric, mage. New classes will get unlocked as you progress further into the game, along with also the ability to get multiple colors of one class, just in case you want to take 4 rangers on a run for the hell of it. Each of these classes is then going to get access to their own skills, and you're going to have your standard stuff like taunt, cleave, etc. But then also, you know, these are cats, so you need to make them cat themed. How about scratching and spawning a flea familiar? Or butt scooting along the floor and spawning a flea familiar? Maybe Russian short-haired roulette, because your cat's a bit of a thrill seeker. How about punching someone to the moon? Or, you know, poop. Your cats are also going to have the ability to get fun passives from the events that they encounter in the game, like depression. That's real. All that nonsense aside, the insanity comes when you try to start to understand the madness that you are presented with. There are a lot of abilities in this game. There are over 1,000 of them. Every time your cat levels up, you're going to get to select one of 4 Mew abilities for it. You'll start getting sparks. At this point, you'll see familiar builds lining up. Maybe I'm going to make a cat that has really strong AoE. Oh wait, these abilities line up so that this one always crits, and this skill that has low hit chance now can't miss. What if I just stack it so that at the end of every turn I get tons of familiars and they all have buffs? If your cats are lucky enough to survive a run, they'll head back to the house. And you see, you thought that you had seen the madness before, but when you get back to the house, then it will crystallize and everything will become clear. Because before you left, your cats were doinking, and now you have brought back strong cats that have abilities. And what if they were to pass those abilities on to their offspring? And what if you have 2 cats that have different abilities from different classes, and you want those cats to, say, make an uber meowch? Yep, that's basically where you're going with this game. You see, it's all just worked out for you. The goal with Mugenics isn't just to go on fun runs through a graveyard. It's to become completely obsessed with creating the perfect environment to make a god cat. That is, of course, if you can stop your cats from killing each other, pooping everywhere, and also doinking the wrong cat, because that's going to happen a lot. You're going to need to manage room stats, cat sexuality, libidos. Also, you know, you need to make sure that you pay attention to the amount of inbreeding that's going on in your house, because there's going to be a lot of inbreeding. The brilliance in Mugenics is that all of this comes together in a way that just is executed perfectly. It's nothing new to see a concept like generation management in a roguelike. What makes Mugenics stand out above everything else is the combinations available to you and the sheer quantity of things that have been crammed into this game. Mugenics has become, honestly, an addiction of several layers in our house. It's all over our work Discord as well, because any time you encounter something in this game, you want to share it. It's a single-player game, but it thrives in a co-op environment because there is so much wonderful stuff in this. You just want to talk to someone about the runs that you went on, or the twisted abominations that you're breeding in your basement, and just how overpowered they really are, until, you know, you end up accidentally blowing them up, or realizing that that ability that says that all attacks means all attacks, and you end up obliterating a cat into chunks. That's going to happen quite a fair amount as you figure out how these abilities work. And you're also going to have the music firmly wedged deep within your skull. Deep within your skull. I don't think a day has passed since Mugenics was unleashed upon us that there hasn't been a cry of tasty rats. echoing through the halls of our house. Because every song in this game is an earworm. And there is a lot to like throughout Mugenics. The character design, abilities, music, art style, all of it just works. The only flaw comes in house management. And that's going to depend on your play style more than anything else. Because if you're sensible, if you're sane, and you kind of understand that you can back out of runs early, you should be trying to manage your house as best you can, because while the runs are great, it's the generations that you're trying to build up, then you're going to be fine, and it's going to be less of a problem until a much later point. But if you embrace the chaos, it's going to hit you a lot earlier. You see, out of the two main players we had on Mugenics, one of them decided to keep a slimline house with less cats and things under control, and the other realized at a point that they had let it bloom out of control and that it was 24/7 cat coitus. And you need to be cruel to be kind. You need to keep your house organized because that will allow it to flourish. And because the UI in this game lacks when it comes to the house management when your cats explode out of control. That is literally one of the only issues that we found during our time with this, which is that managing the house can become a bit annoying when you're counting up numbers and trying to figure out abilities and all of this stuff so that you know who to put in what room, so that you can end up trying to manufacture what's going on. Keeping your house organized and allowing it to just end up getting like that is going to be what breaks you or makes you when it comes to this UI. Because you're going to end up having food problems as well if you let that happen. And then you're also going to end up with not knowing which of your cats are the good ones that you want to take on runs. You see, when a cat goes on a run, afterwards it retires. So you're going to have cats in your house that can't go on runs, that are there for other purposes, kittens that are not yet ready, and cats that are primed and ready to go on those runs, and you need to manage all of these across your rooms, stop your cats from fighting, control all of your cats, and yeah, it's meant to get chaotic. It's meant to get out of control, but the UI is not meant to be part of that chaos. Your cats are a resource, as well as your friends. There's a trust pipe right next to your house that you can throw your cats down, and, you know, things will happen. Because you have friendly neighbors who are helping you out with house upgrades, cat management, or other things that are going on. Also, there's side quests. And there's more, but that pipe, don't worry about that. It comes into play later. You'll know what it does when you get there. That's great. But yeah, like we said, the main issue that we ran into over all of our runs across PC and Steam Deck was the UI. It could be better designed. It could allow for quicker and easier cat management. When you start pushing up in the hours, it's going to start ending up causing you a little bit of friction. It still works fine. It's clearly been designed to fit the theme of what's going on. That's fine. It could just, you know, help you be a little bit quicker when you're counting up stats or trying to remember who needs to go where. And Steam Deck as well is perfect for this game. This game runs fine on it, and it's just a great game for one more run, which fits the Steam Deck perfectly. You can take it out with you, you can play it around the house. We had a blast testing this, and it ran smooth, and it just is a game that feels designed for either home or out. Apart from the fact that you might get some weird looks at you if you're sat in the coffee shop trying to control your cats that are just banging constantly while you're sat there with a latte. So, where does that leave us? As always, we go over our playtime, achievement count, and the cost of this game. This is to help you gauge how to spend your time and money, as you only have so much of them, and everything these days wants them. Mugenics will set you back $24.99 in pounds, $29.99, or $28.99 euros. We spent a combined 140 plus hours on Mugenics, during which we unlocked not as many as we would have liked of the 281 achievements. I believe one of our players has 50, one of our players has like 30, and another one has somewhere in between. During that time, we did roll credits, but that doesn't finish the game, because Mugenics, like Binding of Isaac, keeps going and is going to consume your spare time. It's a hobby game. You can devote yourself to it for as long as you want up front, and then you just get to fill in the spare time after that. There is a lot in Mugenics, and it will keep you going for a long time. Just because our review is over, this game is not leaving our rotation, and that is something that is infrequent. MEWGENICS is one of those special titles that ends up standing above the rest of the genre and doesn't come along very often. Like Binding of Isaac, it's going to infuriate some people and become an obsession for others. The art style makes your adorable little monstrosities hilarious. The sound work of all the meows and doinks is inspired from horrifying meows of some of these cats. It's just every song that you encounter in this game being an earworm that you'll be thinking about. There's a lot here. And let's not forget just the sheer ludicrous amount of abilities, items, cat combinations, and other horrors held within. You see, Edmund McMillian and Tyler Galil, they prove with MEWGENICS that they are experts at insanity.